Hey everyone, it's Marilyn Alauria, and I am super excited to talk to you today about our special broadcast, How to Wake Up Happy. Hi Catherine, hi Cornelia, I see a few people on here, Clara, Salil, great. I'm so excited that you're here because I love this friggin' topic. And I want to talk to you about how to be happy in your life and how to wake up being happy and what this is all about right now. But I'm going to give a few moments for people to come forward and join us. And in the meantime, I'm going to pin the video. It's all me. I'm like a one-woman show. So it's all me and I got to do it. I always look like Pigpen too. I feel like I'm like, hair's a mess, sweater. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to start like dressing up for these things. I do put makeup on at least, you know, I've got that going on. So here I go. Let me find this video on the page and pin it. We're going to have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today because we are ending 2017. And one of the biggest things that I see people do that I feel is an issue is they're like, oh my goodness, when is it over? Just let it be over. I just got to get past this year. Oh my goodness, thank goodness it's over. You don't want to go into the new year with that type of energy because when you go into the new year with that type of energy, you're already setting it up like, oh, well, you better be fucking better. Oops, my language, I just cursed. You better be friggin' better in 2018, you know? And you put all this pressure on 2018. Instead, what I'd like you to start doing, this is just a side note as everybody's starting to come in. I'd like you to start looking at 2017 and going, wow, what did I learn? Where did I grow? Where did I expand? Where did I limit myself? Where did I get limited in my dreaming? Where did I allow myself to not experience what I wanted to do? Where did I not say yes to something I should have said yes to or would have been more beneficial for me to say yes to? So all of that. And then as you're moving into 2018, you really want to be able to start. I just did a 2-hour Q&A call with my membership program, and there was so many teaching tools on it. It was so good. And some of them I'm going to share with you. But what I was saying is like to all of them, because they're in this work and they're doing the work with their guides and everything. And what I teach them is like, when they ask me questions of what do you see for me for 2018? I'm like, well, what do you want to see in 2018? Let's get out of this mindset that we are waiting for it to show up for us. And let's create from inside here, right? Which is what I do with my life. So I'm not going to put myself in that arena anymore. So what I want for all of you to realize as you're moving into 2018 is that you start recognizing that I can start calling the shots. I can decide what it is that I want to change and where I want to go and what I want to have experiences. So this is all about waking up happy. Trust me, I got someplace I'm going. I never know what they're going to do, but I got someplace I'm going, and I'm going to share a couple of stories as to why I feel like this is important. So I really want you to start embracing life differently. I feel that we have coming out of an experience where we always had to go outside ourselves to get the validity, valid, create the courage, somebody telling us, yes, you can do that. Yes, like I want to be an author. Yeah, you can be an author. Oh, great, I can be an author. Instead, I want you waking up in the morning going, I want to be an author and I'm going to figure out a friggin' way to do this. You know, I want you taking ownership of your life because as many of you know, I've stopped readings. I'm doing them for some members, but I've even pulled out of that a bit. I do it as the group calls, obviously, because I want you to stop being dependent on other people telling you what you want. I want you to start owning it for yourself. Now, some of you may be in a lot of cloudy energy and you don't know what that is. Then you start with your joy, your happiness, which is what we're talking about today. So there's 2 reasons I'm bringing this topic to the table. Well, there's always more than 2. And I'd love to hear your comments. Also, you know, the likes and the loves really help me because I'll tell you why. 1, I get to feel loved when I review it. And 2, yeah, we all like to be loved, right? Even me. I'm not like all out there. Like, I don't care what you think. You know, I'm pretty good with a lot of that, but not always. And the other reason is that it pushes it out into the Facebook world and more people learn about me. Yay! All right. So there's 2 reasons why I'm bringing up this topic. There's a few reasons, actually. I'm not going to lie. When people say to me they can't stand their job or they're just miserable, it's like a stabbing pain to my heart. Because the one thing that I will say that I do and have done for many, many years before I was doing this work was when I was in a miserable job situation, I got out. I always got out. Now, this one scares me. Now, this is me personally. This is not my guides. This is Marilyn's personal human experience. When people quit their jobs with no plan and they need to pay the bills, that freaks me out. Like, you don't need to do that. You can create a plan. So when for me, I remember I was in a waitress job. I left production, I was acting, and then I was a lead in an off-Broadway play, right? I was equity, I was SAG, and I was like, oh, this is getting miserable. I'm leaving. And everybody's like, you're a lead in an off-Broadway. What are you doing leaving? And I'm like, I promised myself whenever I was unhappy, I was out of there. And I remember I was waitressing a bit as I was doing like movies and different things, like independent films. Don't try to find them. And I remember being in this waitress job, and it was great in the beginning because I could tell people to get the F out of the restaurant. The owner didn't care. So it was a perfect waitress job for me. But then it started getting miserable to me. And I didn't like she was getting on my nerves. And I remember she said something to me once, and I was like, oh, that's it. And I walked out of that night and I said, I will never waitress again. And when you make those kinds of commitments to yourself, what it does is it makes you think differently. It makes you get inspired differently. I have so much to tell you guys, so I'm going to try to get it all through, and we'll do something together because they're dropping in so much information. So I never went back to waitressing ever again. I found other solutions to support my business and what I do. Now, as many of you know, I love, love, love my business. But when something creeps into my business that I don't like, I look at it right away and I'm like, I have to get out of it. So for a long time, for many years, a large part of my income was readings. Like, I was booked for 6 months in advance, and I had a waiting list. I was booked 6 months in advance and had a waiting list because I stopped taking people after 6 months. And I started not liking readings. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. My guides were like, you can't do this anymore. You know, this can't be your mainstay income. And I loved, loved, loved teaching, right? I was great at teaching. And I remember last year really making the decision. So because I was making the decision but not taking action, Spirit started drying up the readings. They weren't like 6 months in advance anymore. And I was definitely a high price reader. You know, I wasn't somebody that was $25 an hour. That's for sure wasn't my rate. My rate was up there. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're taking it away. They're taking it away from me on purpose. So I got real with myself, and I shifted out of my fear, lack, scarcity consciousness and created the life that I wanted to live. And I am standing before you, sitting before you, telling you that I did it. I created what I wanted, even more so. So I constantly reinvent myself, constantly. Now, did I wake up in the middle of the night going, I was petrified at the things I was doing. I was investing in myself, purchasing programs, you know, here's the credit card. I got to get better. But I was doing it consciously. And because of that, and being very conscious about whatever issues were coming up, and knowing the life that I wanted to go to, the dream life, I was able to create it. Okay. That's my personal story. But I've always been like that. I was talking to my new coach last night and fixing myself. And, he was like, you're 99.9%. You're not like the other 99.9% when it comes to spending money for your own benefit. And he's right about that. I've been like that my whole life. I've been like, need a therapist? Here you go. Help me out. And you know what? Those bills always get paid. Always get paid. And now money is good. So, because I've worked on all that scarcity, lack, fear, consciousness, and everything like that. With that said, there's a reason I'm doing this. I'm not just talking the Marilyn ship. I'm sharing my own story for a reason. So I've always been like this. I just refuse to be miserable in a friggin' career or job. There's no reason. But it doesn't mean you leave right away. I've always left things with a plan. Always. Even that waitress job. You know, I had a plan before I put my notice in. My bookkeeping, I had a plan before I put my notice in. Production, television production. I could have always gone back to production. And those days I was making $500 a day for what I did. And could work from home. But I didn't want to do it anymore. It sucked my soul out. So I always had a plan. So I was listening to, and my members know this a lot because when I listen to things and learn, and then I put my own little spin on it and I bring it in there. I was listening to Super Soul Sunday, Elizabeth Gilbert. It's on the podcast now. And I love Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love. And she told this incredible story. It is not my story. It's not even her story. So I want to tell you this story because we're going somewhere with this. So she talks about having a quest. and always working towards a quest. And she said when she was going through her most difficult time, she would, every day would be a quest, even if it was going to the art store and drawing something, or if it was going to a museum, and no matter what. And she said one day in particular, she was bringing her divorce papers over to the post office, and she was feeling horrible. And she heard this voice say, get out of it, do a quest. And she realized online at the post office, that's it. I have to do a quest every single day. I have to do something to feed my soul every single day. And she walked out of the post office, and right in front of her, walking down, I think it was Fifth Avenue, were like 7 elephants. And she was like, there's my quest. Circus is in town. And she just enjoyed that moment, right? Now, we all know how well Elizabeth Gilbert is doing these days, right? Multi-millionaire, has to be, very happily married. And she talks about her happy life. Many of you are stuck in places where somebody just wrote that she was laid off. I'll look at that question in a second. Or you're raising kids, or you're helping ailing parents, or you don't have any money to do the programs you want to do, right? But there's a lot of free stuff out there. So there's a lot of situations that may be in your own personal existence where you don't get to wake up like I do in the morning and journal and go for a hike and then meditate and work and do the things you love. You're not there yet, but it doesn't mean you can't be. Okay. Or you're not in the relationship you want to be, or maybe your husband just left, or wife just left, or these things happen, right? So what I'd like to say to you is I want to tell this story of this woman and the quest. And I want everybody to get a quest. And I think we're going to do a little meditation of a quest, because I think that's what's going to happen. So I just saw somebody else that I know, Vincent, got laid off and stuff. When you get laid off from positions, that's scary, right? Because you got bills to pay, you got kids to feed, mouths to feed, you got all these situations happening. But I truly, whenever somebody says that to me, I'm like, congratulations, congratulations. It's a moment in time, Spirit taking away my readings, right? I wasn't booking like I used to. I was looking at my bank account. I had a team of people, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to pay them, you know? But it made me get creative. It made me create the life that I wanted to live. So I want to tell this story that Elizabeth Gilbert told, and it's somebody else's story, and apparently it's on her Twitter feed and popular and all that, so you may have already know the story. So when people approached Elizabeth Gilbert and said, how do I do my Eat, Pray, Love when I'm saddled with, all these responsibilities and I can't do it right now, right? And Elizabeth didn't know how to answer that question. Or didn't fully feel, whatever it was. I can't take words out of her mouth, but that's what I heard. Then she was at a book signing, and this woman came up to her and she said, I want to tell you about my mother. She said, my mother, when I was younger, her father left. So this woman had 5 kids from the age of, I think, 12 years old to 10 months. And the husband just left, never to be heard from again. So here she is, a single parent of 5 children, from 2 months old to 12 years old or 13 years old. Now, I grew up with a single mom, so I know how hard that is. We were so broke. And this woman decided that she wanted to sail around the world. And she knew that she couldn't do it at that moment. She just knew she couldn't do it. And she said, every day, no matter what, I'm going to put $1 in a coffee can for that trip. And no matter what, and I remember seeing my mother scraping money aside. And my mother was a school teacher, but she was raising 4 of us with no family, and we were in private schools. That was really important to her. And that was a priority for her. And I actually got free tuition, but that's a whole other story. This woman every day is scraping her money away, put $1 in those coffee cans. And eventually, all the kids are out of the house, and she sailed around the world she had tons of coffee cans, never dipped into it. Every day, $1 went into it. Now, I was thinking about this today, and I'm thinking I may want to do something like this next year with everybody, where we commit something every single day, even if it's a quarter. It's 50 cents. What it does is it tells Spirit, tells God, tells your guides, tells yourself that you're committed to your dream. And that's where everybody's falling down. You're committed to your dream. You're committed to yourself. You may not see the exact plan in front of you right now, but it doesn't mean that every single day you can't take a step towards it. I want to know what you feel about this. You can tell me by likes and loves, or you can write in the comments if this is helpful. So I know that there's some planning going on in my guidance and everything that'll probably come out next year, or before next year. But I want to ask all of you, we're going to go into a dream, because what I find, I know I'm jumping around a tiny bit, but bear with me. I find that people limit themselves in their dreams. And when you limit yourself in your dream, you don't really have the inspiration to do it. You get like, yeah, or you've been so disappointed and you're like, I'm going to dream smaller. I'm just going to dream really small. But I don't really want to do that. But I'm going to dream small. So there's no inspiration, no excitement, no greatness that's going through you. No like, whew, I want to put 50 cents in a coffee can because at the end of this year, I'm going to have a friggin' massage at that spa I wanted to do. Maybe that's the biggest thing. But I have found, and I started this live with this, by investing in myself, all limitation here is gone. And it's allowing me to dream even bigger. Because if we're limiting ourselves and limiting our dreams or limiting what's possible, you can't possibly dream big. And a lot of times we need these dreams. We might be here. Let's do this. We might be here and the dream is here. And we don't know how we're going to get there, but we have the capability and the ownership of ourselves and the commitment to ourselves to take a step every single day towards it. And I can tell you what happens. And I'm going to tell you another secret, a really great tool. That taking a step every single day, something happens inside of here. It's this magic that happens. And all of a sudden you start connecting the dots in your life like you've never connected them before. People start coming up to you and going, hey, I want to give this to you. Something I can't remember what it was, but something happened to me recently where somebody wanted to gift me something. And I was like, wow, I wanted that. And now it's here. So when we show spirit, God, universe, everything, that we truly believe in our dreams, we don't know how they may happen because we may be in very limited situations, but we believe in our highest ultimate dream. And then take a step every day. And your step every day, I'm going to give you a simple step. Your step every day may be putting that $1 in the coffee can. Your step every day may be just listening to something inspirational and then acting, taking one action. Your step every day may be a self-love thing because you just need to love yourself again. It's going to bring you closer to your dream. Trust me. So I wake up for the most part almost every morning and I fill my heart with Jesus. That's me. You don't have to believe in Jesus. I don't really care if you fill your heart with candy. If it makes you feel good, go for it. So I fill my heart with Jesus and I ask Spirit, where do I need to go? This is really a Course in Miracles thing. So but I'm going to add to it. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to say? What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to say? And what do I need to do? Right? Where do I need to go? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to do? But you got it. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to say? And what do I need to do? Spirit added 2 more. Who do I need to listen to today? And who do I need to watch? So listen to maybe just 5 minutes of a podcast because that's all the time you have while you're washing the dishes or cooking dinner for your children. Or watching maybe 5 minutes of pulling up inspirational quotes. That could be watching, right? So it's using this. So I've been doing that for quite some time. And I noticed recently, you think it's like what will happen when I do that is inspiration will come in. Go email so-and-so. Go call so-and-so. Go do this. Go do that. Now, some of those things fall flat. Nothing happens, but I don't worry about it. I just keep going because I know that moved something out of the way. Me acting on that inspiration moved it out of the way for something better to come in. But I noticed recently that I'm working with a new coach, and this was a big investment for me, and it's been amazing because I invested in me, and it's making me limitless. And I noticed that was one of the people that Spirit wanted me to go to. I didn't know. Well, he wasn't on my radar when I was asking that question, but they brought me to that person. And by bringing me to that person and me acting on inspiration and asking those questions every morning, something else unfolded. And now all this stuff is unfolding and this acceleration is happening. Okay? So simple things, a couple of simple things. I'm going to give you a couple of simple tools and then I want to do a quick meditation and then see what happens. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to say? What do I need to do? What do I need to listen to? What do I need to watch? If you just sit in that receiving and asking those questions and then pay attention to the inspiration, even if you can't act, maybe the inspiration is write Oprah. Okay. So maybe it's write Oprah. I always use Oprah. And put it in your phone. Now, I was listening to Oprah. I've been listening to a lot of stuff lately because I'm doing these morning hikes and I'm sitting in traffic for a half an hour and I friggin' hate traffic. That's why I'm moving. But instead of being like that, I'm like, ooh, let me just learn. Let me just learn. And it's been great for me. And I was listening and Oprah was talking to Elizabeth Gilbert. It was that interview. And she said how she was going on Facebook to thank her audience. I'm like, Oprah does her own Facebook? Because usually they hire people. I'm sure she hires people too. So that's what you do, right? Hi, Carolyn. I'm glad you found me. You can go on Facebook and start responding. You'd be surprised. We have so much more access to people than we think. Okay, I want to give you one more tool, and this came out in my membership guidance today. I love this tool. So they said to somebody, do self-love every day. They said 7 days, but I'm going to say 5 days. Do something self-love every day for 5 days and use your 5 physical senses to do it. So you can do one a day. Sense for your sight, get flowers. Self-love. Sense for smell, go and sniff a flower or go and get an aromatherapy thing. Sense for hearing, listen to something great and inspirational. Sense for tasting, get something that really makes you feel good when you eat it. Feel good when you eat it. Not the donut where you're going to beat the crap out of yourself about it. Unless you don't, something, maybe it's a delicious latte. And something that you taste, feel, something tactile, touching trees. If you do something like that every single day, that's what the 365 days will be about. That's not putting money in a jar. That's taking one of your senses. It's not the clairs next to me, Carolyn, but I love it because it does feed into the clairs exactly. So really good observation. But if you did something like that every single day, your insides are going to change and you're going to start believing in the limitless dreams. All right. Who's with me on all of this? That's what I want to know. So likes and loves are great as I love them. And let me see what's going on here as I pull up. Jennifer says, I'm so excited to take steps every day to move towards my dreams. Sharon says, love this, dream big, invest in yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Sujata said, to take the step is this trouble, maybe due to doubt and fear. Yes, Sujata is in membership. So Sujata, I'm going to show everybody this question. No matter what, honey, you're going to have that fear. You're going to have that doubt. You got to take the step anyway. So maybe the steps you want to take are so big and they feel so overwhelming. And so you take something little, something really little that makes you feel good, and you build on that. So I'm in this coaching program, right, that I've invested in, super excited about. But what I've done is I made a 360. I've also invested in my physical health, mental health, spiritual health. I mean, I'm usually pretty, good. Physical health, I've been working on because I'm healthy, I'm a healthy person that way. But there's stuff I had to tweak. I definitely had a friggin' tweak. So do that stuff. Do something small, Sujata. Do the thing that's the self-love thing right now for you. And let's see what happens, okay? All right, so I'm looking at, I think self-love is a great place to start, Elizabeth says. I love that. Karen loves the Sensory 5 days idea. Yes, awesome inspirational session. Thank you, Deb. Okay, let me just see. A little like the Souls List. Exactly, Sherry. I love this, Suzanne. This gave me chills. Thank you. I was having a scarcity day and feeling a bit blue, but your specific tools could really pull me out. Thank you. I'm really glad. And that's what it is, right? So definitely, we always use all our senses, but it's about using your senses in a way that's self-love. How many of you eat unconsciously? How many of you really have visual stimulation around you that you love, or take a moment to look out the window and enjoy what you're seeing? How many of you really take a moment to listen to the birds singing, and that's self-love? I love that question, by the way, Beatka. Thank you. How many of you really touch things that make you feel good? I got a cup of tea here. It's an Ayurvedic tea. Smells delicious. Tastes spicy, but I know it's good for me. There you go. I don't hear anything, just silence. Maybe that's all I need to hear. So that's, yes, we definitely use our senses all day, but it's about thinking out of the box. One of the biggest things I've been teaching in membership is stop the formulaic thinking. People struggle with talking to their guides or feeling their guides because they're trying to do it in this linear fashion. There is nothing about your guides that's linear. There is nothing about this life that is linear. Not one part of it. It is so multidimensional that when you're sitting in it and you're seeing the dots connect, it is so incredible. Now, you all know that I'm very transparent about my hard times. I was telling my students, like I've been going to a doctor because I'm dealing with certain things, an integrative doctor. I'm good, guys. Some of you write me some beautiful things about, have you tried this? Have you that? Thank you. I'm with an integrative doctor. She knows what she's doing. It's great. But she'll give me test results. It doesn't even faze me. I don't even think about it. To me, this is just another step for my acceleration because I know they're getting my physical body ready for it. All right. Let's do a quick little thing. I don't know what we're going to do. We'll see what happens. But let's do a thing about taking our limits off a dream. So let's see. Let's just start there and go from there. Okay. So just close your eyes. Do whatever you want. This is great. I love when they do stuff like this. Do something with your hands. Whether it's touching yourself, touching your hands, touching your heart, touching your hair, do something with your hands that makes you feel good. It might just be holding the other hand. So do something, let's start with feeling, that makes you physically tactile feel something that feels good on you. It could be, if it's outside of you, like maybe it's a table or a cup of tea, just make sure that you're combining with the energy of that, like you're feeling the emotional energy from it. So just touch things, touch something. Notice how that feels inside your body. Like I'm holding my hands, and when I breathe into my heart, it just feels so good that I'm giving this moment right now to hold my hands and say, I got this. So say something now to yourself that you feel is a message. You don't need your guides. You got you. Your guides are in you. That you got this. Now, we just did a clairaudience lesson in membership. Without your eyes being opened, listen. Just take a few moments and listen. And receive that sound. Even if that sounds a horn, receive it in a message. So allow whatever sound you hear, even if it's silence, to be a personal message for you, your heart, your quest, your dream, your coffee can dream. So just take a moment now, do that, and listen to physical sounds. It could be an internal sound, and that's okay too. And let it be a message for you and your dream. There are my dogs. They're adding to it. And I love my dogs. So now they're not going to stop if I ask them to stop. I don't know how many of you have done lives with me, but there is no stopping them. Okay, moving on. Woohoo! So now go to taste. So just taste in your mouth by swallowing, by rubbing your tongue around your teeth, and just notice what it tastes like to be you. I know it sounds really weird, but what does it taste like to be you? How do you feel about your own ability to taste things or tasting life? What does it feel like? Or think about the life that you want to taste. What does that taste like? What does it feel like to taste the life you want? And maybe you're struggling with this. What does it taste like to taste struggle? We have to stop making things wrong for how we feel. Somebody said on membership, I feel like crawling into a cave. I said, good, have fun in the cave. I know it's uncomfortable, but you're going to learn things in the cave that are brilliant. Now smell. What does your new life smell like? You may be smelling something or you may not. Use your imagination. What does your new life smell like? Mine smells like jasmine. Oh. And oak and redwood trees. What does your new life smell like? So now you're using your imagination. And now open your eyes and find something that is visual in your surrounding that is just beautiful to you. Just find something in your physical surrounding through your eyes that is just beautiful for you. Tell me one of the things that you discovered and how it made you feel. And tell me if you struggled, because struggle is part of life. I am not one of those teachers that's like, don't give me your struggles. I'm not like that. I was talking, like I said, I just got off a 2-hour call with membership. And one thing that keeps coming forward is when you're in your struggle, how do you show up for yourself or how do you abandon yourself? And you have to show up for yourself in the struggle, because we need to be there for ourselves. And we don't know how to a lot of the times. And being there for yourself through struggle is so much better than not being there for yourself and judging yourself. Why am I here again? How dare I? This is so stupid. Why can't I stop these thoughts? Instead, show up for yourself, notice what's happening, and rewrite the moment. Okay, so let's see what you got in that. And maybe you didn't like that. Tell me about that, because I didn't know. That was something I don't know what we're doing. I never know what we're doing. Gentry said, I found my miniature quilt block in my office. Love the colors and the patterns. That's perfect for you, Gentry. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Gia said, I felt very tingly, especially with touch and smell. It felt good. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. See how we have that power right away? I didn't do a reading for any of you. You just created something. You're that powerful. You're that magical. You're that magnificent. Audrey said, I feel full of love, calm, opportunity, and most important, hope. I can do it. I will make it. I love that. That's where we have to get back to, is hope and then knowing. We become hopeless as a community, a society, as a world. And our dreams are full of hope and knowing. And that's where we need to get back to. Maybe what you put in that coffee can, if you don't want to put $1 in there, is a hope every single day, even if it's the same hope or a knowing. Jennifer said, smelled my husband's cigar and quickly turned it into lavender. Love that. Opened my eyes to scenes in Mother Earth. I love exploring my senses. Yeah. We're always teaching these other parts of senses that we have. And Melissa, I'm not doing readings right now. Am I on a path or what? So I did a whole thing that I would suggest that you listen to, because that's great that it popped up right there. But let me go back to the other one about the cigarette smoke first, the cigar smoke. We're doing senses, like physical senses that lead to our psychic senses, which is great. So Melissa, yours came up for a reason, right? I'm not necessarily doing readings right now, but my question to you, because I'm turning things back to people, are you on the path or what? Do you want to be on the path? Is this the path you want to be on? Thank you for letting me use you as a teaching tool, sweetie. Answer that question for me. Is this the path? Every single one of you. Is this the path you want to be on? And answer that right now. Let's answer that. Answer that with love. We all got to write Facebook and tell them they have to put stars up there for Marilyn, because she needs stars, not hearts and likes, stars. Are you on the path that you want to be? I know I'm on the path that I want to be, and I know there's things that I want in my life, but I'm definitely on the path. Some of you may be struggling, but you may be saying, yeah, I'm on the path. Still on the path. Maybe you're not. And if you're not on the path, sweetie Melissa, definitely listen to the beginning of this. Because it's all about dreams. What's it going to take for you to be on your path? I know people are getting frustrated, but I'm moving out of that role of just reading people. I'm moving into a role of co-creator. I want to co-create with you for your highest possibilities. Now, I do have an incredible ability to see people's souls and to know what their purpose is, but I still want to co-create with you. Woo, I went back there. All right. Let's see what else people wrote. Terry said, I don't feel I'm on my path yet. I can see it, but I'm not there yet. Great. So Terry, you'd want to take one step a day towards it. So say your path, my path for next year is definitely, I keep promising this. I'm going to write a book. I'm not promising it. It's for myself. I keep promising it to them and myself. I'm wanting to do it. And so I would do something. I already have a plan, but do something every day towards it. Even if you can't write every single day, listen to an author, read a blurb from an author, read a page of a book of like you want to write, things like that. I don't know why it's putting up certain things, but thank you, Natasha, that she said awesome. Let me see what else here. Claire, the struggle, the fear of not achieving what I dream of. I start and I know I can do, but block with fear of moving forward. Yes, I want to do this. I love talking to my guides and want more. Yeah. So Claire, great comment, because struggle and fear is going to probably be there no matter what. You don't all of a sudden, that's why you want to listen to people that have already achieved greatness, right? Because especially people that achieved greatness that are empowering you, not these people that achieved greatness and they're saying that not everybody can get there. Get rid of those people. But they will talk about struggles and fear. You think all the famous people, they went through that stuff, but they didn't let it stop them. They may have made them pause and reflect and decide and make different choices, but they didn't let it stop them. So allow it to pause you. That's okay. Sometimes I have to pause. I had a student on membership that said, I need to take a break for a little while. And I was like, you know what? You do. You do. You need to take care of yourself right now. So that's great. So fear and doubt is going to be there. It happens. Let me explain something to you real quick. When you expand into a dream that you've yet to experience, right? You don't even have anything in your life. Think about it. If you have a child, whether you're a father or a mother, you've never had the child, the first child. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that had children. You guys never had one. You don't know what to expect. So we have to get ready for these things energetically. So what happens when you're about to give birth to a child? Well, you're reading all the books. You're talking to other parents. You're talking to people. You're gathering information. You're starting to feel into it energetically, vibrationally, by talking to other people, by doing the preparation, so that when the baby comes, it's still going to be weird because it's like, whoa, what the frick is this? But you're a little bit more prepared vibrationally. So when there's a big dream out there that you have never been near, how do you prepare here for it? By little steps, because the little steps allow you to start shifting the vibration inside of you and start welcoming it in. All right, I'm going to read a couple more and then I'm going to go because I do. Love this, Sujata, because we've been working through this with you. So it's a great place for you to start and journal your own experience, Sujata. And there you are getting into writing mode. Don't overthink it, honey, okay? All right. Machka, I hope I'm saying your name right, honey. I'm on my path. I feel that everything has been put in place for me to start writing my book. Woohoo! Thanks, Marilyn. I'll start doing my little bit of something to do with my book every day now. I like this. I think I'm going to have to incorporate something next year for all of us. Barbara says, moving past the recent struggle and fear made my path much wider and greener. I love it, love it, love it. Catherine. Yes, I'm on the path for sure. Yes, you are. Let's see. Colleen, the new baby was wonderful. Yeah. Thank you, guys. as Colleen's holding a baby in that picture. That was a great one. So great. Thank you. Deb says the session and 5 sessions exercise was great. And I hope I will help me embrace and meet my new business name. Love that, Deb. That's great. Yeah. You know, something like new business names and things like that, or even what you're supposed to be doing for a living and your purpose. You don't learn your purpose like this. You learn your purpose by living and experiencing and doing those questions that I asked, remember in the beginning, and listening to things and allowing the multidimensional part of your life speak to you. That's why I got very tearful when I talked about that part, because when you're in the synchronicity of your life and you're recognizing the intricacies and the multidimensional and the information and you're remaining open to receive, wow, what comes through is incredible. All right. So thank you so much. I want you if you're just joining us now, to go back and listen, because this one was action-packed with tools. Matter of fact, you know what I'd love for you guys to do? This would be really beneficial for other people who come and watch the video after. Besides the likes and the loves that push it out, share it with your friends if you feel. I know a lot of you in closets, and I respect that. I really respect that. But share it with your friends if you think it's good. What would be really beneficial is your takeaway. So share your takeaway today, because your takeaway, this is what I have learned. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. I think takeaway is one word. Is it one word or two? I'm going to look stupid now. There you go. I don't know if it's one word or two. I think it's two words. Share your takeaway. I think there's orbs going by. I keep seeing them. So share your takeaway. Yeah, I just saw that, Denny. That was wild. Thank you. Share your takeaway with everybody else, because this is what I found when I used to read people, and then I don't remember readings, but they'd come back to me and they said, when you said such and such, and I'm like, I don't use that language. But it was so important for them, and they got something so amazing from it. So share your takeaways below, because you're going to help somebody else. And let me tell you something. When you teach others, I keep seeing them. I love it. When you teach others, you learn yourself. That's the best way to learn. That's when you start getting courage and taking risks and everything. Yeah, it could be the sunlight. It's amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Much, much love to all of you. And thank you for being part of my audience. Next week, we are going to start shifting the time. It's not going to be on Tuesdays moving forward, but I believe next week it's still on the calendar. Let me make sure, for 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I just realized something. I believe it's for 1 o'clock, so it's not showing up on my calendar. But we'll give you a notice about it and everything, but we are going to shift it to another day. So thank you so much, everyone. Have an incredible day or evening whenever you're watching this. Remember to share with your friends, and remember to write down your takeaways, because it's really going to help other people. Thank you.